がさらに交わる未来に向かって多くのユーザー様、パートナー様、そしてここにいる皆様と一緒に進んでまいります。
Have you ever worked in a robotics company, or maybe thinking of establishing a robotics company, or maybe you want to cooperate with one of them? Currently, the robotics field is getting larger, and robots now are being implemented into so many applications right now. So if you want to establish like a robotic company, how we can classify or the characteristic of such a robotics company will be. Hello everyone, this is Ayman Omar, and today I want to talk a little bit about the characteristic of a robotics company. As most of you are aware that the robot field is a multidisciplinary field that have so many branches of like engineering and science. So mainly there are three main branches that will make the robotics field. First is mechanical engineering, electric and electronics engineering, and computer science. So generally, the people who are working in the field of robotics to develop robots mostly are working in one of those fields. So generally, like robotics company will have to maybe employ mostly those kind of three fields, depending on what their business is about. If you want to maybe search on the internet or maybe in some categories like about robotics companies, maybe you will hear it, those famous names like Kawasaki, Fanuc, maybe like Yaskawa. Those are some of the famous robotics companies that are like producing robots manipulators for industrial applications. Maybe now we are hearing some other companies like maybe like Boston Dynamics that are developing like humanoid robots, and also now they are developing those Spot Mini. So it's a four-legged robot that's being used for some application. There are some other like different companies that are producing different type of like service robot. So if you maybe go to some like expedition or maybe to some conferences about robots, then you will find those kind of very famous names. So generally, like those companies, they are manufacturing and developing those robots, and they are selling it for so many applications. But if you want to look at the manufacturing process, if a user, let's say like a factory, they want to use a robot, and they contact maybe one of those famous companies like Fanuc or maybe Yaskawa or maybe Kawasaki, most of those companies, they will sell only the robot manipulator. But in order to use like those robots, maybe in the assembly line or the production line, maybe you need to add some other components like sensors. You need also to program maybe some other utilities, maybe also the end effector of the robot, depending on the task, whether is it welding or maybe just type of gripper. So all of those components are being produced by other companies. Like sensor is not produced by the robot developer but by other companies. Maybe a gripper also now is being developed by some other companies. So who's actually is going to design the system or maybe implement the robot into the production, the assembly, or maybe in the production line? In that case, there is another set of companies called system integrator. Those companies are mainly, they integrate all of those part of the robotic system, such as like robot manipulator, sensors, maybe the motion line, the motors. Also they make the programming, they analyze the need of the user. So most of the companies in the robotic field are mostly system integrators. So those considered to be the front line of the people who are maybe engaging with the users, define their need, and they develop a system based on the requirement. So most of those companies, general medium to small size companies, not very big. So mostly they are cooperating with so many other companies that produce either like robot components or maybe other utilities or system is in need for such a system. So it's different from the robot manufacturer, because currently we know that there are some robot manufacturers that they develop the robot, but there are some other companies, they are system integrator. So now we have two categories. We have robot developer or manufacturer, or we have system integrator. So system integrator is the one that they maybe make the system based on the need. Also, in the robot field, there is another set of companies that are mainly focusing on the software development, because as I said earlier, that we need like a mechanical engineering, we need like electrical engineering, and we need also computer science. And mainly because now there's a lot of development in the software, and also like implementation of also of AI system into the robots. There are so many companies that are just focusing only on programming in software development. So we can find a set of companies that they only focus on software. So either like they develop the software for a set of robots, like for example, like some robots are actually ready for use. For example, like Pepper, developed by SoftBank. So this robot actually is ready to use. It has the sensor, the camera, like the arms, the interaction system, everything is inside the robot. But actually, it could be used for so many different type of application and tasks. So it depends in the user need. They have to program it based on their need. But since like many of the user, maybe they're not familiar or how to develop maybe a software for such a robot, they have to rely on other companies. Most they are focusing on the software development. So it's similar like the system integrator, they're also software development, but the difference between them that software development, they just focus only on software only. So you find most of the people on that companies are mainly software engineer, or maybe like a computer scientist mainly. But system integrator, maybe they need like electrical engineering and mechanical engineering for like making like their new system and new development. So now we say like we have like three categories, mainly like manufacturer, the one that they manufacture the robot. We have system integrator, the one that they assemble the robot with other like component and sensor, and they program the robot based on the user need. And they are software developers, which mainly they just program the robot. If the robot is fully prepared, they just need to develop software for that one. Sometimes they could be a mix of two or maybe three categories. Like you can find like a system integrator that they integrate the component with the robot, but because they are focusing more on software, so they are kind of system integrator, but most of their work are mainly software development. There are some companies that are like that. And there are also some other categories of robotics companies which does not fit into these three categories. Mainly like we can have some small companies that they are focusing on research and development. So those are developers. Mainly they develop a new robot system based on the clients or maybe user need, or maybe they analyze the market, analyze the need, they develop a new set of system for the or maybe develop a new like robotic system. Maybe they could sell it to other companies like a manufacturer or something like that. So there are some companies that are mainly like a developer. So we can have like three set, and we have a developer. You can find also like distributors. That's mostly like just reselling based of and like overseas companies in their local market. There are some distributors, and generally like we can have also like consultant like myself. My company is Winroll RTS. We are consultant, so we can help like other companies. I just give them advice or maybe analyze their needs. So there are also some consultant, but most of the main companies are maybe manufacturers and system integrator. and software development. So those are mainly the three categories of the robotics company that you will widely see them in the robotic market. I hope you have benefit from today's talk. So until I see you again, thank you for watching.